Lovely, lovely babies. I just love y'all so much. There is a message. So, there is a difference between listening to understand somebody that you're interested in versus listening to imitate. Sometimes we just do this out of the safety of keeping ourselves from getting rejected. And I feel like we've grown past that now. You do not have to be liked by everybody. Not everybody is your cup of tea, and you're not everybody's cup of tea. And you got to accept that, baby, because if you're looking for the one, if you're looking for the person that is for you, then what's wrong with being you? Because there is somebody out there that's made special for you. And you sitting over here faking it until you make it with somebody that don't even really meet your needs. You know what I'm saying? That's why we got so many people podcasting and things out here, men versus women or so on and so forth. And they're talking about needing somebody. The person that's made for you, that's the one you need. These people out here, you just acting out and just doing the most because you want them. And you're replacing your needs with desires that you can't even afford because you're compromising yourself at the end of the day. And furthermore, it's toxic. Matching energies with somebody, matching belief systems with somebody. If it's not genuine, if it's not really for you, then it's just not for you. You know what I'm saying? But if you really don't be believing in the half the stuff these people be saying, talking about their way, talking about how they believe, how they walk their walk of life. You don't have to adopt those traits in order to be liked by them. If they don't match with you, they just don't match with you. Stop wasting time, because long way down the line, or not so long down the line, you're going to eventually show your true self by how they offend you for real. And when that happens, they're like, oh, you change, you this and that. And the thing is like, adapting to someone's wants and desires is okay for a fun time, I'll say. But for longevity, no. That's not how you need a match. You don't need a match with somebody if it ain't gonna be for long. And so, that's just a few little snippets. That's just a few little things that y'all need to pay attention to. I have to re-glue this daggum nail on, y'all. So if I look distracted, that's what I'm doing, because this one fell off the other day. But anyway, I hope you take this message, and I hope that you don't get offended by this message. But if you do, hey, that's for you. But I thank y'all. I love y'all, and y'all have a blessed and wonderful day, baby. And to be honest, trying to, I'm getting ready in the car. Trying to match with somebody and just, like I said, subscribing to their ways and all that stuff, you really catfishing them. You're depriving them of actually getting the person they desire too. So you kind of selfish, you greedy. And so, I can't protect your feelings at this point, because you sitting here and you showing them who you really are. At the end of it, you really showing them what you believe and what you don't believe. You trying to change them, and the reality of it is they're being their true authentic self, whether they an asshole to you or not. Thing is you've got to accept them the first time, because a lot of y'all that are in these new relationships or long relationships, and then you come out and you want to diagnose this person with narcissism. Well, maybe you have it too, because at the end of the day, you adapted yourself to this person at first, and then when you got tired of that, you got tired of identifying with things that wasn't for you. You changed because you didn't want to be alone, or because you like the way this person looked. You want to tie them down, and unfortunately, you brought kids with this person, and y'all really don't match. So, really out here, I see a lot of women. I see a lot of women out here that like to diagnose their person in this relationship as narcissistic, when the reality of it is you might be the narcissist, because you're the one that catfished them into believing you're something that you're really not, just because you didn't want to be alone, or just because you really just wanted to be liked. It's mediocre at best. And so I say all this to say, my opinion of all of this stuff is that I think we would have a lot of successful relationships, marriages, and all that stuff if we had that in mind. And, because you don't want to be the one to hold somebody back from their true potential with the person they're supposed to be with. And it shouldn't be a one-sided view. Men really be wanting to look for their partner in life and stuff, somebody that's gonna match them, somebody that's gonna hold them accountable, somebody that's not gonna kiss their ass. And the thing is you adopted those traits at first, and now you can't stand them now. Why is that? Because really, that's not who you were. That's not who you are. That's not what you want. And so I think, honestly, it's one of those things. You have got to understand and respect boundaries. And because you lack them, you'll do any and everything to be liked. You'll do any and everything to give in to a idea of yours. The toxic emotions that you have in the situation, making these types of decisions, it's not logical. It's not good for the kids. It's not good for the future. It's not good for none of that stuff. It ain't good for you. And you need to respect that. Just having self-discipline and self-control. Who that is? I don't know you. Anyway, I got this Yara oil. It is so good, y'all. Look at it. Got my neck all drenched and all that stuff. I got a skin hanging. I know I could feel it. But anyway, shoot, I love smelling good. But anyway, yeah, like I was saying, it's just, I think we would have a lot more successful relationships if we had people that were accountable and responsible. And it just starts within. It really does. And as a woman, I'm going to address the woman stuff first because that's my experience in this life. That's just what it is. So if you feel like I'm coming at you harsh, if you feel guilty, if you feel some type of way, hey, I'm doing my job. Because you got to be accountable for what you got going on, for what you're doing to somebody else. And then turn around, whole time, you didn't really even like this person to begin with. How they are. You thought, you just wanted a little cupcaking, little something. And it ain't working out. And I think a lot of it too is these dudes out here cheating, and because I'm not excusing it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not excusing it. Sometimes these dudes be cheating out here because you're not fulfilling anything within them. That's why when they go, it cut off, I don't know what in the world. But these snippets, it's only 3 freaking minutes. But, a lot of these dudes be cheating out here in these relationships. And like I said, I'm not excusing it. Wrong is wrong. And if this ain't meeting your needs and stuff like that, then, you need to just be honest and step away. But, and the thing is, the problem is y'all are waiting for everything to go wrong to leave. No, if this person is just not meeting you where you're at mentally, if they're not putting you if they're not, how should I say it? If y'all are not compatible at all, in no way, shape, or form, other than sex, then 9 times out of 10, you're going to find where you are fulfilled. And so a lot of dudes, they'll cheat. But a lot of the world views it as like, oh, man is going to be man. No, they really compromise themselves when they cheat too, especially from a partner that they've agreed to be partnered with. But that's another conversation for another day. I'll say this: if you're not meeting this person where they're at, if you're not considering their love language, then they're going to go where they're considered. And like I said, I think a lot of it is y'all have both emotionally checked out anyway, but you're still expecting this person to be something. Now you want to be a victim. Now you want to, it just all adds up to this mentality that you have, this irresponsible lashing that you got as a woman. And like I said, I feel like you really need to address all of these emotions. You've got to address your compulsive activities. You've got to address your sexual energy. And you've got to be accountable for it. You've got to be accountable for it, because not all the time is it the other person's problem. A lot of this, you came in with it and you just hid behind a lot of the shit that you're doing to get this person to like you. So that's the point I'm making. That's where I'm leaving it. And I hope the best.